In this day and age, it seems impossible for someone to go missing. From the fact that most of us own mobile phones that can pinpoint our location to the widespread use of CCTV and even the advanced forensic techniques now utilized by investigators, it feels like, in theory, no one should be able to just up and disappear. But unfortunately, despite all of that, people still vanish without a trace. Join us in today's episode as we explore 3 disturbing cases of people reported missing in 2024. Elijah View. On February 12th, 3-year-old Elijah View was dropped off in Two Rivers, Wisconsin by his mother, 31-year-old Katrina Bauer. Living in Wisconsin, Bauer drove over 150 miles to Two Rivers and left the toddler in the hands of her boyfriend, a 39-year-old man named Jesse Vang, who reportedly used extreme and abusive disciplinary methods on Elijah in an attempt to make him fear his mother. According to CNN, court documents showed that Bauer had sent the 3-year-old to Vang so he could teach her son, by example, how to be a man. The so-called disciplinary measures included cold showers and timeouts where Elijah was made to stand up for hours on end. Bauer would later tell investigators that she made clear to Vang what sorts of methods were not to be used against her son. Elijah stayed with Vang between February 12th and February 20th. On the 14th, a photo of him was taken by his mother, who was visiting. It showed the young boy wearing a blindfold with bruising on his face. He was lying on a bed. A day later, another photo was taken showing him standing in a corner dressed in nothing but a nappy, which was full, and his hands in a praying position. The Manitowoc DA would later allege that on the 16th, Elijah was left alone for an hour at Vang's residence. During the days leading up to Elijah's disappearance, several text messages were exchanged between Vang and Bauer. On February 18th, Vang wrote, "I told you to trust me. I'ma make sure he hates me being there." She replied, "Don't want him to hate you, just fear you." Vang noted that somebody had to be, quote, the bad person. And Bauer responded, "I know, but either way he can fear you and respect you." Vang claimed that Elijah feared him, quote, "but he didn't respect me. Now I'm making him respect me." If you will forgive this narrator a moment to editorialize, this behavior is beyond disgusting. Abusing and terrorizing a child never leads to respect, nor does it, quote, toughen them up. It is the behavior of cowards. On the morning of February 20th at around 7:30, Vang woke up to give Elijah breakfast, which consisted of cereal without milk. Half an hour later, the little boy was told to stand at the foot of Vang's bed and pray while Vang took a nap. According to Vang's testimony, this was the last time he saw Elijah alive. At 10:59 a.m., he called the Two Rivers Police Department to report the 3-year-old missing. An AMRA alert was subsequently issued to the residents of Two Rivers, and that afternoon, volunteers gathered to help search for the little boy. Outbuildings, vehicles, fields, and storm drains were thoroughly checked for any signs of Elijah. Police used drones and sent dogs to aid with the search, but no trace of the 3-year-old was found. Jesse Vang was arrested that evening while Elijah's mother, Katrina Bauer, was arrested the following day, having changed her story about her son's whereabouts several times while speaking with police. Over the next few days, the search for Elijah continued, eventually involving the FBI. The Wisconsin Department of Criminal Investigators and numerous county sheriff's offices. Dive teams searched waterways, and on February 26th, a local landfill was examined for clues. The FBI announced a $15,000 reward for information while Elijah's other family members pleaded with the public for information, noting, quote, "Pain is indescribable. We cannot express our sorrow or the desperation that consumes us. To anyone with information on Elijah's whereabouts, we plead with you to please come forward." They added that his unexplained absence is a torment no family or child should ever face. While Bauer was initially charged with party to a crime child neglect, further charges of obstruction were added 6 days after Elijah disappeared. On March 7th, she appeared in court to appeal against her $15,000 bond. Her own mother wrote a letter to the court, noting her daughter's pattern of behavior, poor judgment, and lack of responsibility. She wrote, quote, "Her story always depends on her audience. At this time, rather than aligning and locating her son, She feels the need to reiterate what a good guy Jesse is and fully defending him and his actions. By aligning with him, she could potentially have access to his extended family and ability to flee the area. She added, "I don't feel it's worth the risk to lower her bond, especially as Elijah has not been found and many questions remain unanswered." Bauer's appeal was ultimately rejected, and her child neglect charge was up to chronic child neglect. A further child neglect charge was laid against her concerning a 6-year-old girl believed to be her daughter, whom she left alone in the car in cold temperatures on February 14th when she visited Vang and Elijah. As for Vang, he already had a criminal history, including previous convictions for child abuse. He told investigators about some of his other so-called disciplinary tactics, which included that Elijah was not allowed to play with toys as he was staying with Vang as, quote, punishment. Vang also revealed that Elijah was given a cold shower on February 17th after he'd filled his nappy. Both Vang and Bauer entered not guilty pleas in relation to the child neglect charges they were facing. On March 14th, investigators revealed photographs of a beige 1997 Nissan Altima. They stated that police were in possession of the vehicle, but that they needed help tracing its movements the day before Elijah went missing. They requested that anyone with CCTV on their property take a look back at the footage to see if the Nissan Altima appeared in the hours between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. 2 weeks later, on March 18th, it was announced that Elijah's blanket, described as being made of red and white plaid, was discovered on Goodwin Road, east of County Road B in Manitowoc County. Officials noted that the blanket had been found sooner, but had only recently been confirmed as belonging to the 3-year-old. It was found 3.7 miles from the 3900 block of Missacut Road, where Elijah had disappeared. Two Rivers Police Chief, Ben Minot, told WLUK that investigators had reviewed more than 10,000 video files, conducted dozens of interviews, and followed hundreds of leads in an attempt to locate 3-year-old Elijah. Quote, "We literally went into every home, talked to everybody that lived in each home. We checked every room, every cabinet, everything in those homes, but Elijah is still missing." The 3-year-old was last seen in Two Rivers, Wisconsin on February 20th, 2024. He is described as a half-white and half-Hmong male with sandy brown hair and brown eyes. He is 3 feet tall and weighs around 45 pounds. At the time of his disappearance, he was wearing gray jogging bottoms, a long-sleeved dark-colored top, and red and green dinosaur slip-on shoes. He has a birthmark on his left knee. If you have any information about Elijah's whereabouts, you can contact the Two Rivers Police Department at 844-267-6648.